All right, good morning, everyone. It is 8:40 in the morning of December 27th, 2021, and this is my trading strategy session. So I hope everyone had a good Christmas. The week between Christmas and New Year's is usually a pretty fun week for traders. Let's see, I've done this for the past 3 years now, and the week in between Christmas and New Year's is kind of it's professionals week. You know, the people who are the hardcore traders are the ones who are trading between Christmas and New Year's. Everybody else is on vacation. I mean, everybody else. In broader terms, in terms of the broader market, it's usually pretty quiet with a bias to the upside. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that I'm looking at here is MBOT. MBOT just announced a partnership with Stryker. Microbot Medical enters strategic collaboration with Stryker to develop robotic procedural kits. All right. So let's look up Stryker real quick. Let's see if they're even publicly listed. First of all, let's see, Stryker, Stryker Corporation. I wonder if this is them. Okay, yep, this is them. And here's the deal. So here we have Stryker. This is Stryker's chart here. And you can see here it goes for $268.25 per share. They're in health technology. What's happened here is a smaller company has probably entered. There's probably some contract that Stryker has won, and Stryker is through some sort of a small business administration kind of, there's a requirement for some large government contractor types, which I can almost guarantee you that Stryker is probably doing some kind of government contracting. There's a requirement for them to farm out some of their work to small businesses. And what I'm guessing, this is a total guess, but what I'm guessing is that MBOT has just been named by Stryker as one of the small businesses that intends to fulfill some of those contract requirements for. So MBOT's stepping in where Stryker is like saying, okay, hey, we have a small business requirement. MBOT, you're going to be the ones to fulfill our small business requirement. Good on MBOT. That's good. Here's MBOT pre-market. And this is what I did with MBOT is I put a Fibonacci on it. And I put the starting Fibonacci at the previous day's close, and then I just doubled it. And you can see here in the 10-minute that MBOT is doing quite well. When I do that, what I want to see it do is hold the 50% at least. Now, what it's done is it's gone to I use 75% instead of the Fibonacci that's like in the 70s, and I've forgotten what that number is. But 75% and 25% are levels that I replaced in the Fibonacci sequence. And you can see here this morning pre-market, it opened up, quite a bit higher, and has run up to that 75% level right there, and is now kind of evening out. Looks like it's doing a little bit of consolidation here on the 10-minute. And this will be one to watch today. The volume pre-market is just shy of 10 million shares pre-market traded right now. It's getting close. Let's see, 8:45 right now. So almost everyone is awake. Sometimes there's like a 9 o'clock crowd that'll come in and start doing its buying. But usually this time of year, the pros are in the pre-market, and they're trading this already. So when the regular market opens up, this ought to be interesting. I'm going to use the momentum strategy on this, but the Fibonacci levels here are going to be a guide for whether if it bounces off right here and continues higher, then that'll be an entry, and so it'll be sort of a combination of the momentum strategy plus the price support strategy with Fibonacci's. And so actually, and it's a really slow morning this morning. There are only 2 stocks that are really very interesting to me at all on my scanners this morning. There are a bunch of stocks on the scanners, on the small cap in particular, but none of them have the volume or the gap that I like, or the float that I like. Okay. Next up, GDaddy, and actually GDaddy here pre-market is actually taken. I was a little skeptical of this one. So GDaddy here, we have the news on GDaddy is that Starboard Value acquires 6.5% stake in GoDaddy. Shares rise pre-bell. So Starboard Value, we'll just go. It'll be easiest to go to the website and read this. Wait a second. Search the web. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Starboard Value LP is a New York-based investment advisor with a focused and fundamental approach to investing in publicly traded U.S. companies. Starboard seeks to invest in deeply undervalued companies and actively engage with management teams and boards of directors to identify and execute on opportunities to unlock value for the benefit of all shareholders. Starboard's principals have managed investments in this manner since 2002. Okay, that's good. With this, I don't think that you can really call them corporate raiders, but essentially what they're going to do is they're going to come in. They are professionals at streamlining business. GoDaddy apparently, it's been around for a long time. I really don't know much about it at all. It's a .com survivor. So eventually, I think that this will probably make for a good investment. I don't know how it's going to trade. And actually, in my experience, when there is an announcement of like, what is that? Renaissance Capital owns such and such percentage of shares in company XYZ. There's a pop, but it usually fizzes out through the day. There's a bump up in price, and then it fizzles out, throughout the day. There's Renaissance Capital. There are all sorts of these names, and the first one that I can think of is Renaissance, and there's some other ones that everybody's heard of. So right off the top, the way these things trade in my experience, they get a bump up, they'll gap up in the morning. There might be a trade like a gap and go right in the morning, or in the first couple minutes there might be a nice run up. But it's usually a really quick scalp, and the rest of the day it just fizzles out. Who knows? GoDaddy might be different. We'll see. This chart is ugly, though, where the price is right now. So the price right now pre-bell is at $78. Here's this gap here. It gapped down. Let's see, it closed on the 4th of August at $83.50. And then it opened up again at $75. So, about $7, almost $8 lower, right? But what's really ugly about this is this region back here is the price where it's most likely to run up and meet resistance. So even though the gap between the 4th of August and the 5th of August is here between 83, I'll call it 83.50 roughly, and 75 right here. This area right in here is the most likely area for price to meet resistance once it goes back to try and fill this gap. If it can make it past this, then it's going to the top of the gap. But this area right in here is where price resistance is going to be. And you can see this morning let's see, this morning right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to replace this line right here. Oops. Oh, I hate it when I do that. This here. Go to this line right here. We'll put it right there. Yeah, and I'll use a solid line, and I'll make it easy to see. 3-point line. So this morning pre-market, this blue line represents the high from this morning in pre-market. You can see right in here, it went right into this resistance zone and is now pre-market fading away. And then on top of that, there's also this gigantic breakdown candle right here, this big red candle right here. And nothing happens until this price is beaten, the top of this is beaten. And then is confirmed. So nothing is really very exciting about this stock until it breaks up above, retests, and continues on. And then even after it does that, it still has this gigantic area of consolidation and price resistance before it gets interesting. So I'm guessing that even though this company, what were they called? Starboard Value, even though they just announced a 6.5% stake in the company, they probably, have some way of being able to get in and do a private placement. So, and they're probably warrants and so on and so on. I just have this up to watch it. I'm probably not going to trade this at all this morning. I'm actually sitting here doing this pre-market. I just realized, I was looking at it this morning, okay, if it pops over this $79.90, then I'll look for, an opportunity. But now that I'm doing the pre-market, I'm speaking out loud about this thing, there's no way that, I seriously doubt that I will trade this thing this morning because Starboard Capital is bound to have a whole boatload of things going on that we don't know about after this announcement. Warrants, options, they probably did something behind the scenes in order to be able to buy shares in a private placement sort of a setup down, around, who knows, $40 or something a share. This part of the chart right here, this is just really ugly. Really, really ugly. So, all right, if this thing just really starts to haul ass though to the upside, then it'll hit the scanner. Let's see how many shares are outstanding. There are 166 million shares outstanding. I don't see a float on my scanner. We could look it up in Yahoo if we really wanted to, but I'm not interested. I seriously doubt this thing is doing anything today. Just in case it does, I'm going to put an alarm on it here. So if it crosses this $79.90 mark, I'll get a notification, and I'll keep an eye on it from there. And then the rest of what's on watch this morning is really just pretty it's just on watch. So CALT here had a pretty good announcement. Back here is the 15th of December. It announced that it has an FDA approval on a drug to help people who are experiencing tenderness from chemotherapy. So apparently a side effect of chemotherapy is that people's mouths, jaws, gums, I'm not sure exactly what, get really sensitive. And so there's therapy out there for this now to help with that. FDA approval, there's a flag, a bull flag here, and it looks like it's trying to break up past the bull flag. I started a position on this on Friday, the 23rd right here, and sold most of it, and I'm holding on to a little bit of it. A break above 26.53 here. I don't know why I have 26.53 as significant, really. The price for it to really break is 27.50. So if it can break 27.50, then it ought to really find continuation all the way up into its previous highs here. Relatively young company. It was introduced in 2020, introduced to the market in 2020. So I have it on watch. And actually, CALT, Caladitas Therapeutics, is actually more interesting to me than GoDaddy is at this point right now. Okay, and then BFRI. BFRI, this is one that, I'm not really impressed. I mean, the news is good. Biofrontera enrolls first patient in trial of combination photodynamic therapy for moderate to severe acne. That was released on the 13th of December, and you can see back here, it reacted well to it. Where is the 13th of December? Right there. Interesting. So here's the 13th of December. Let's see what happened on the 24th of November. This thing traded 226 million shares on the 24th of November. So let's go back to the 24th of November here. If it's, there's really no news. 29th, settle lawsuit back here on the 29th. Okay, well, anyway, it's on watch. This thing's been behaving this morning pre-market. It's down 23%. It has a pre-market of 1.2 million shares traded. Let's see, MBOT's making another move here. Let's see real quick. Yeah, it's popping up over this 945 right here. Interesting. Well, so it's on watch. Let's see, do I have an alarm? No. If it breaks up over 1463, then it's breaking into new highs, new all-time highs. CPIX, this is just another one that's on watch. If it starts hitting the scanner, we'll see. I'll put an alarm here at 550 if it starts breaking up over it. Okay, then the broader market here, the SPY. If the SPY opened up right now, this very moment, sorry, okay, here we go. If the SPY opened up right now, this very moment, it would open up, let's see, where are we? 0.38% higher, and it is up here challenging these all-time highs. So let's see, it made a new, I heard that it made a new all-time closing high on Friday. I left early on Friday. So I wasn't around. I heard it made a new all-time closing high on Friday, but it doesn't look like it did. Well, it's the SPY is doing what it can. It keeps meeting resistance up here. So a lot of people were nervous about this being a double top right here. A lot of doomsday. There are a lot of people who are just got on. If you pay too much attention to YouTube, man, you'd think that like the world is coming to an end or something with these guys, but. So yeah, a closing high above 473.54 would be extremely bullish. It kind of does need to happen, actually. I mean, there is a technical setup happening here that is showing quite a bit of resistance up here in this 470 level, roughly. So a close above that, that would be a big deal. On light volume, though, I don't know. During this week, we'll see what happens. All right. And the VIX is breaking down beautifully here. We have the bottom of the VIX at 18.21. The VIX right now is at 18.7. What I'm looking for in this right here is for the VIX to break down below 18.21 and then really start breaking down below this the support line right here into the low teens. Looking for some really bullish action. Bitcoin, so until Bitcoin can break above and hold this support or resistance line right now, and then make it turn into support, I'm neutral Bitcoin. As of this moment right now, Bitcoin is, as far as I'm concerned, it's range bound and neutral until it can break above or break below 53, break above 53,000 and or break below 42,000 and then confirm. Otherwise, it's neutral. Until it can do one of those two things. I'd tend to be bullish on Bitcoin. So rather than looking for an opportunity to short it here at 53,000, I look for an opportunity to buy it at 42,000. Okay. So that's going to be my pre-market strategy session, everybody. Good luck out there. Keep your wrist tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you at the recap. I am out.